Good afternoon, members, and to the viewing public. It's 1:05 p.m. and I call this special committee meeting to order. But before we go to the adoption of agenda, I would request to amend today's agenda to include House Communication number 23-57 um, or House Communication 22-21. There any objection to that?
No objections.
With that discussion, ready? Okay. With that, I'll now recognize the vice chair to. Oh no, let me just do it this way. I move, or just to move to adopt today's amended agenda.
Thank you. So moved, Mr. Chairman. I move to revise and adopt the revised agenda. Thank you.
There has been a motion to adopt today's amended agenda. Is there an objection to that? Second, has been second. All in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you, members. I'm moving a lot down to item 3, public comment. The floor is open to anyone in the gallery that would like to make comments. Being there's none, just so that we'll move on to section 4. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I'm kind of excited. uh, I believe we need to code a roll, Noah, Miss Claire, just so that we are in order with the OGA and so forth. So with that, I'll now recognize Miss Claire to call the roll.
Representative John Paul P. Sablon.
Here.
Representative Marissa R. Flores.
Present.
Representative Vicente C. Camacho.
Present.
Representative Joel C. Camacho. Representative Diego Vincent F. Camacho.
Present.
Representative Blas Jonathan T. Atto. Representative Vicente S. Odon.
Here.
Representative Edwin K. Probst.
Present.
Representative Ralph N. Umo.
Present.
Chairman, we have 7 members present, 2 members absent.
Thank you, Ms. Claire. Let the record reflect that Representative Atto is excused, and also let the record show that the Representative Joe is hereby replaced by Representative Angelo Camacho. Can we get his, I guess, his attendance?
Representative Angelo Camacho.
Present.
Chairman, 8 members present, 1 member absent.
Thank you. And also let the record show that Representative Atto is hereby excused. So we'll move down to the section 4, the legal authority, the rules. I believe back in May 9th, 2023, we did organize and adopted the rules. So the rules of our rules of procedure is hereby in place. And now, is there any clarification with regards to the rules? I believe there's some member that wanted some clarification with our authority. Is there any objection? No. Okay. So we'll move on to new business. Under new business, House Communication number 23-57 or House Communication 22-21 is here. As you know, the Joint Committee on JGO and Ways and Means on the 22nd legislature conducted investigation with regards to the boost. There is some of the recommendation that was sent to us. Also, some of the I believe the people, for example, the Secretary of Finance wasn't able to speak before the committee. There was other witnesses that were supposed to be called up, but it wasn't because basically time ran out. So we are here now. I know there's many unanswered questions, and with that, I'll now open up the floor for discussion. I'll recognize our Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, members. I appreciate your time today, and I apologize to the public for that long break. The, our first meeting was in May, and people have been in the community have been asking us everywhere we go, are we going to restart this? And the answer is, of course, yes. But there was no greater pressing matter at the time than our budget. And now that, as we said, as the special committee had said, that we will move forward once the budget is passed, and so now there will be no more delays. So I appreciate your presence and your time and commitment to this special committee. But before we move forward, I want to take a brief look into the past, and if you could allow me a few minutes, Chairman and colleagues, to just brush up on a few things for those of us, because it's been a while since we've heard from Boost. I'd like to do this by reading a privileged statement by our former Congresswoman, Representative Tina Sablan of the 22nd House of Representatives, who in her final session on January 5, 2023, had this to say on the floor. And these are not my words. I'd like to read the words of former Representative Tina Sablan, who was a member of the 22nd Joint Special Committee of with JGO and Ways and Means. Again, from Congresswoman Tina Sablan. I concur wholeheartedly with the Joint Committee's recommendation that further legislative investigation into the Boost program is needed and should continue in the 23rd legislature. Even with the thousands of pages of records collected and the hours of testimony received in final days before the end of our term in the 22nd legislature, the Joint Committee has only begun to scratch the surface of the gross waste, abuse, and fraud that have occurred. There must be consequences. Referrals should be made to the Attorney General, the Public Auditor, and federal authorities for further investigation and prosecution. The next legislature should take up measures to ensure greater transparency and accountability in the expenditures of public funds, and the next administration should support these measures. The Boost program was a heist. Public money was stolen. Public money was squandered. Public money was exploited for political and personal profit. Only a very few out of the thousands that applied were grossly enriched. They are obviously well connected. The insiders of the Boost program want us to believe that award decisions were made based on the merit and uniqueness of the applications, even when large amounts of money and multiple awards flowed to the same individuals, the same families, same business associates, the same political supporters, the same bank administering the program, and all its employees who applied. Everyone was privileged to apply, we were told by one of the review panelists, but clearly only a few were privileged to get boosted. This big money grab was made possible by the absolute lack of oversight and lack of transparency. There were no rules, no process, no records of evaluations or votes or recusals, no rubrics, no guidelines, no restrictions. Meetings were held in secret, away from public view, without any notice or documentation. And the political motivations during driving this program are impossible to ignore. There are signs that throughout the records. It was a government program passing out cash in the weeks before and after, and before and during an election. The people reviewing applications and recommending awards were all political appointees of the governor and members of his re-election campaign. And the one person with final approving authority for all Boost awards was the governor himself. The Boost program could have been amazing, could have really helped a lot of businesses and nonprofits, people who struggled through the pandemic and just needed a lift. Let's be very clear that our efforts in launching this fact-finding investigation into the Boost program were not, and were never about going after the legitimate small businesses and nonprofits that apply for these funds in good faith and with genuine needs. No one really can be blamed for applying for these funds. But the people who should absolutely be held accountable are the Boost officials who created a program with no rules, no rubrics, or records, and grossly mismanaged and politicized the distribution of public funds. Multiple people had their hands in this fiasco. Ultimately, however, the buck stops with the soon to be former Governor Ralph Torres himself, who had the final say for all Boost awards and was and has been the sole expenditure authority for these funds. Governor Torres has staunchly maintained that only he should have had a say over the federal funds that have been awarded to the Commonwealth. Boost was a $17 million debacle, but that's $17 million out of the more than $2 billion the Commonwealth has received in typhoon disaster and pandemic recovery funds. The brazenness and negligence of public officials involved in Boost should make us all wonder what other improprieties have been committed that we don't yet know about. What other money grabs have occurred? If there is one lesson that has been amply demonstrated by this whole mess, it is that we in the House leadership have been saying this entire term. One person should not have such unchecked power over the public purse. That's how precious resources get wasted. That's how corruption begins. And this is her last. This she concludes. Congresswoman Tina concludes with this. I urge the next legislature and the next governor to take all necessary steps to change the culture of fiscal recklessness that has prevailed in our government to one of real checks and balances, transparency, accountability, and prudence in the expenditures of public funds. Again, that was from former Congresswoman Tina Sablon, member of the House of Representatives in the 22nd Legislature. And basically, what she had said in that statement is what we were presented with in the preliminary findings and referral for future consideration and action, which we have just accepted. So we had to look into the past to move forward with the future. Now, as you know, members and members of this community, this is not only about Boost. This is only one component of what we're all looking into. And that's more than $1.9 billion of federal funding that a lot of us are still wondering where did it all go. But this under the chairmanship of Ralph Yumo and my colleagues, we have decided to move forward, and we will start by reopening Boost and going through everything that we have received. In addition to what we accepted today in our House session from the 22nd Special Committee, we also have met with the Bank of Saipan President John Arroyo and his legal counsel, Matthew Gregory, and we appreciate their um, their open door policy and how they have given us all the documents that we have requested so far. Now, with that said, there are several updates that will be coming forth soon. Members, you all have access to the files. We look forward to looking through them and reviewing them. There are several files that we learned through going through these files that we still don't know exactly what happened to their notice, their notices that they were supposed to sign off on when they received and picked up their checks. So those are things that we will be coming forward in the near future. And we do have, of course, letters of subpoenas that will be going out. And that includes, as the 22nd Special Committee was unable to interview these people because they ran out of time and we came to the end of our term, we do have the time to do so now. So in the next 2 weeks, we will be putting down those names and letters of will be going out, and we will be moving forward with that. Um, I do want to say that I appreciate Governor Palacios and Lieutenant Governor Apatang, the Secretary of Finance, Tracy Norita, and the members of this cabinet and my colleagues who are all working together to try and recover these some of these lost funds. There have been checks that, as we found out through Governor Palacios in our meeting just earlier this morning, that have been canceled or returned, and that's a good sign. But out of the $17 million, there's still a lot that we are looking for. What we have uncovered, and this is for the public consumption, is that there are businesses that received boost funding but never opened. There are certain figures that did receive money and closed down their businesses. So we are going to actively look into that with the help of the Secretary of Finance, with this administration, with their blessing, so that any funds that we recover goes directly back to the taxpayers, back to helping our people. Um, so at this point, I yield. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you, Vice
Chairman.
Chair. The floor is still open for discussion. Rep Flores.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Vice Chair, for the history. Um, it's kind of bittersweet to sit here knowing that we're again tasked with this huge responsibility. I know as the JGO chair, I made it very clear early on that I was not going to, as a committee chairperson, was not going to pursue um, investigations only because um, I didn't feel that I was ready to take on such a huge endeavor. And now that I've been given an opportunity to sit with the senior representatives who have the history, who have the knowledge, and who were willing to invite me and allow me to sit in this committee um, to pursue these monies that have been, I guess, squandered is the word, or misused and just grossly abused by the failure of having systems in place to prevent such theft. Um, the people deserve answers. There needs to be justice. Someone has to be um, prosecuted for these. Gosh, there's not even a word to find to put it all in. I feel really bad for our people, and I think that if we work together, we have the end goal. I'm also glad to see that there's members who are involved in the justice system, who are here to witness today's session or today's meeting. And I wholeheartedly believe in the work of the special prosecutor. And I believe that under the leadership of the chairman and the vice chair, I think we would be able and we could be able to close this chapter once and for all, finally, so that our people can be given peace and justice reigns within our Commonwealth. Thank you, Chairman Ayu.
Thank you, Representative Flores. Any other comments, concerns? Rep Camacho.
I just want to make a statement. Good afternoon, colleagues and the viewing public. This afternoon, we embark once again in the continuation of the fact finding to the alleged corrupt act of the Boost program. In the 22nd legislature, we were able to bring to light the misuse of federal funds from the Boost program. During the 22nd legislature, through our fact-finding oversight, we were able to make transparent the mismanagement of federal funds. This continuation of the fact-finding oversight, we hope that we can hold individuals or companies accountable for their involvement in their mismanagement of the federal funds in the Boost program. We hope that this fact-finding oversight committee will help our federal and local partners expedite their investigative efforts in holding individuals and companies accountable for their involvement. We ask for your patience once again and understanding, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Camacho. Any other member like to make a statement, comment? Representative Odon.
Thank you, Chair. So when I was watching the previous investigation in the 22nd legislature, and things that were going down with the impeachment and, this boost program and all the chaos that was going on, I remembered some of the public comments that were made were, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that because we're family. What place in the world would allow family members to do corrupt things and call it okay? If we're trying to build a strong family foundation, whatever happened to the lessons that we were taught by our elders, where respect, dignity, honor stands? Are we going to excuse certain individuals because they're family? Or should we not hold them to a higher standard because we put them in a place, a position that is supposed to serve the public? But evidently, with this boost program, it's a rape and pillage on public funds. And a lot of it is because family and friends. There's no honors among thieves. Sooner or later, somebody's going to squeal. And we just have to find it. And I'm pretty sure, looking at this list, somebody will squeal. And all we need is just one. And I urge the public and whoever it is that knows something about this program and they award it, you, in your good conscience, I beg you, the public, to come forward and speak the truth. Because there's nothing greater that you could leave behind for your children than to uphold the truth and to protect their future. And there are times that we need to stand up and stop the corruption and to return what was rightfully belonged to the people, not to a privileged few. At what point does the 1%ers can say enough? At the end of the day, we're all going to be 6 feet under, and you're not taking anything with you. And the legacy that you leave behind is going to determine, the memories of your children. Are you a good person or are you a bad person? You speak to your children about doing the right thing to show honor and respect in the community, but behind closed doors, you do otherwise. And that is a shame. I have more respect for people that actually go out there and pick up trash for a living or scrub toilet bowls for a living. Why? Because it's an honest living. Where is the moral? So I beg the public that has any knowledge to please come forward and assist us in righting the wrong. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Representative O'Don. Any further? Representative Camacho Tego.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, members. First, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for reconvening this discussion on federal assistance and disaster relief funding. As you know, many in our community have been waiting on wanting answers to what has transpired in regards to the Boost program. And I want to make it clear to the viewing public that yes, there were many legitimate businesses who have applied and availed to these funds. And some of the businesses or individuals who have received not one, not two, but up to three awards, while many other applicants, which I may add are still in business today, did not see a dime. It is these kind of inconsistencies that compel us to continue where the 22nd Joint Committee left off. Mr. Chairman, I look forward to finding a resolution to this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Camacho. Any further? All right. Being there's none, I'd like to go back up to the 13, Section 4, under letter D, under the letters and subpoenas. The chair requests that we vote on issuing 1309 letters to, but not limited to, the Bank of Saipan, the Department of Finance, Zoning, Revenue and Taxation, Business License, Department of Commerce, and also contractors that were involved, as well as anyone that's not listed that we've been or we've missed. I did notice what was passed out from the vice chair. There was a lot of copy of the notice that wasn't, I guess, signed over by the or released by the bank. So someone picked up the check. So there's a lot of those that were not that didn't go to the proper signing off of the notice of awards, and there's a lot of important details there, as well as under that section 3 where it says the person agrees to submit upon request to audit the use of the funds by the program administrator, Department of Finance, U.S. Treasury, and or other entity authorized by the Department of Finance. So these are the things that we need to, the chairman requests and get the approval from the members so that we can issue out the letters and go through the process of, I guess, sort of like auditing the list that was given out to each and every one of us. So if there's no, is there an objection to that? Okay, with that, can I get a motion to approve the request of the chairmans to issue all 1309 letters and not limited to all that was mentioned earlier? Let me recognize the vice chair to make the proper motion, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Chairman. So moved. I move that we give the chairman the full authority to issue these 1309 letters, so that they can go out as soon as possible. So moved.
There has been motion made by the vice chair, has been seconded. All those, we have to call roll. Clerk, call the roll.
Representative John Paul P. Sablan,
Yes.
Representative Marissa R. Flores,
Yes.
Representative Vicente C. Camacho,
Yes.
Representative Angelo A. Camacho,
Yes.
Representative Diego Vincent S. F. Camacho.
Yes.
Representative Jonathan T. Bla Atto, Representative Vicente S. O'Don,
Yes.
Representative Edwin K. Probst,
Yes.
Representative Ralph N. Yumo.
Yes.
Chairman, all 8 members present voted in the affirmative.
Thank you, Ms. Claire. With 8 members voting in the affirmative, a motion has been granted, allowing the chair to work with the legal counsel to issue all 1309 letters to the following, and that will be uh, later issued to the proper agencies. Uh, Also, before we move on, I know, and I need to seek guidance maybe from the legal counsel with regards to, I guess, the former Secretary of Finance. Um, he had not come before the committee, and maybe that's something that we could schedule as soon as possible, as he was one of the last ones that has not come forth to the committee so he can answer the questions. So, do we need to get an approval to issue?
Just name it, and we can do it now.
Okay, so I'll recognize the vice chair.
Are you asking me to make the motion?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to include the former Secretary of Finance, David Attelig, in the 1309 letters. So moved. I stand corrected. Can I
Yes,
rephrase that?
please.
I would like to make a motion. I move that we issue a subpoena, letter of subpoena to the former Secretary of Finance, David Attelig, to come in and testify before um, this special committee. So moved.
There has been a motion made by the vice chair with regards to subpoenaing the former Secretary of Finance, and has been seconded. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Oh, sorry, apologize. Let me recognize the clerk.
Representative John Paul P. Sablan.
Yes.
Representative Marissa R. Flores.
Yes.
Representative Vicente C. Camacho.
Yes.
Representative Angelo A. Camacho.
Yes.
Representative Diego Vincent F. Camacho.
Yes.
Representative Blas Jonathan T. Atto. Representative Vicente S. Odon.
Yes.
Representative Edwin K. Probst.
Yes.
Representative Ralph N. Yumo.
Yes.
Chairman, 8 members present voted in the affirmative.
Thank you, Ms. Claire. With 8 people voted in the affirmative, I will work with the legal counsel to issue the subpoena to former Secretary of Finance David Attelig. Thank you, members. Any other that might be missing? Suggestions, comments,
Short, short recess.
short recess. Thank you, members. We are back from recess. We're still under, we went back to section 4, so I'll move down to miscellaneous. And the floor is open. Representative Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I thought that I will hold back on my statements till miscellaneous. I just feel that it's the right, proper time to express my appreciation to you, Mr. Chairman and Chair, for including me in this special committee. Although I was a member of the 22nd legislature, but I wasn't a member of the joint special committee created on the 22nd legislature. I look forward in helping this body in putting a rest on all this fiasco about the boost program. Some of the members alluded earlier that there are a lot of legit businesses who have opened business here in the Commonwealth for more than 2 decades and were not given the opportunity to receive boost awards. And these are the businesses that went through the ups and downs of the economy of the Commonwealth. And to look at a list of businesses that are awarded that just created their business on the same year the boost program was open saddens me. And we need to put all these issues to rest. And I look forward to working with all of you in this body. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Sablan. Anything further under miscellaneous? Sure. Vice Chair.
Thank you. And I just wanted to go back and let people know, because some have asked, do we actually have the power to get this money back, and all these questions. Now, the thing that the saving grace that and we're grateful for this, that actually was supposed to go out to every single awardee, was the notice of award that they had to sign off on when they picked up the check. And it basically sets and acknowledges and an agreement to the terms and conditions of of the award. There's 7 stipulations on it, and if you follow all of that, they have to keep record of every single cent that they spent for up to 5 years. They must keep records, and they must ensure that it's going to what they claimed it would go to. So that is a saving grace, and that's why we firmly believe in all this money that went out, that it can be recovered. But I do want the members of the public to realize that this body has its limitations. We do not have the power to prosecute. We are not the Attorney General's office, but we are grateful to the Attorney General and his hardworking team who are looking into these things, because we still don't know whatever happened to the feds. If anybody sees any of them, ask them, that we might need some help here, because when you're looking at $2 billion of money that has been misspent, misappropriated, and we have instant millionaires that pop up for spraying Clorox on walls, you start to question it. But the problem is, we have a community that has been waiting for those answers from the feds, and we still are patiently waiting. But how much longer do we have to wait? Thank you, Chairman and colleagues.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Representative Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know we're in miscellaneous, but I have a question, and maybe this could also be a statement, but will we be able to call in the former governor who was a signatory um, for the awards? Would we be able to call in Will Castro? Will we be able to call in X amount of people? Because I know we had discussed it on item 4, not limited to this particular list you have. But I hope that moving forward, we are open to that. So I just want to make that clear that these are some of the people I would also like to see in the panel. And what's that other guy's name? Taisagui. Yeah. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Rep Flores. I'll put that as a note. Any further, Rep Camacho Vicente?
Thank you, Chair. Would you please clarify to us our role with the media? That way we are clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Camacho. There's we don't have any written rules of media, but I would respectfully request the members that any information that's coming out of this committee be directed to either myself or the vice chair. That way, the will be in line with the rules, and anything that's said might be take out of context. So if you uh, get a request from the media, I mean, directed to either myself or the vice chair. Um, that way, we're giving one answer to everybody. Thank you. That answer your okay. Um, with that, is any other anything further? Um, right now, I would request that we recess until 10 days from now, so that gives us time to prepare and get uh, the proper 1309 letters to the appropriate agency. So recess to let's look at this. Let me look at the schedule. Is 10 October 23 or 24? That's what's open on my calendar right now. 24. Is there any objection to October 24? With that, the committee will stand in recess until 1:30 p.m. October 24. Thank you, members.